Taylor Johnston. This is episode 7 of the Wheelhouse Knits podcast. I am coming to you from Quispamsis, New Brunswick, Canada. I live here with my husband Adam and my 4-year-old son Sawyer. Adam is upstairs making us some ribs for supper. Sawyer's at daycare. I am off today, so I thought I would check in, catch up on some knitting, and have a little chat today. It is August 16th. Adam and I just came from, we went to one of our favorite restaurants for lunch, Cask and Kettle. Yeah, it was nice to get out. We don't often get out together, so it was nice to actually have a little day date. So he's making ribs, he's gonna go mow the lawn, and I thought I would check in with you guys and see how you have been and show you what I've been knitting on. It's been probably a month since I've chatted with you last, and I have lots of socks to show you. You can find me on Instagram. I'm most active there. I am at the.wheel.house, and I am also on Ravelry as The Wheelhouse. I'll put it on the screen here for you. You can always reach out to me on Ravelry. No, don't reach out to me on Ravelry. Reach out to me on Instagram because I always answer my messages there. Ravelry is hit or miss. It just takes me forever because usually the only thing in my inbox is pattern updates, but I have missed a couple messages there, so I apologize about that. Anyways, yeah, and if you comment down below, I try and answer all the comments. It's been nice getting to engage with you guys. I appreciate it. So let's talk knitting. So the first thing I'm going to show you is my Bits and Bobs blanket. So I've been working on this since we chatted last. I'm having some troubles. This is my second time knitting this blanket, and this is with my Creative Knitter Advent from 2021. It was a rainbow Advent, and I love it. Sorry, it's a big project. Just let me get it situated. Okay. So I am knitting this exactly as per the pattern. It's a paid for pattern. I believe it's by Kay Jones, but I'll put it on the bottom of the screen. So I cast on the stitches in the pattern. I am using the needles exactly as per pattern. So this is it. I started down at the bottom. I'm working my way up through the rainbow. And last time I showed this on the podcast, I was at that stitch marker right there, Progress Keeper, which is a needle runs through it, my favorite, and it says, fuck off, I'm knitting. So I have knit that much since I showed this last. I don't know what it is about these yellows. I have never had to rip a row out or had a stitch that I couldn't fix in this blanket before. I knit a lot of brioche. This is Fisherman's Rib. So I'm pretty comfortable fixing my mistakes, but in this yellow section here, and then in this yellow section here, I don't know, I was knitting, I screwed something up. I couldn't fix it by dropping down, and I love this blanket so much that I wanted it to be, I didn't want it to have a glaring error. Like, it was pretty obvious both times. So I ripped back a couple rows, reknit it, and I'm really happy that I did, but I've never done that before, and I did it with both yellows. So I'm on the third yellow here. It's quite a bright yellow. Hopefully you can see the difference. This is my last yellow, and then I'm moving on to the greens, which I'm so excited about. So here it is again. It is so beautiful. So I'll show you the greens that are coming up next. So this is Creative Knitter Advent, and I'm holding it with Lilo and Roxy. Oh, I got a Progress Keeper stuck in there. Again, a needle runs through it. See if you can, it says, knit up bitches. So the white that I'm using is Lilo and Roxy. They're basics. It's very, very reasonably priced. It's white. So I'm using that, and these are the next colors that are gonna go into my blanket. So this one is Grasshopper. This one is Mint, and mint is one of my all-time favorite colors. Seafoam and Sour Apple. So I can't wait to get to this section. I think these are so beautiful. And then so right now I'm at the halfway point, and then I've got my basket, oh, I'm never good at this, right there with the blues and purples that will come after that. So I can't wait. It's the perfect blanket for me because I love brioche so much. It's got a beautiful drape. I love it. So I'm gonna move my Progress Keeper up and see how far I can get next time. So that's my bits and bobs. I have purchased an Advent for this year coming up. I got the Shirley Bryan Advent, which I think I've mentioned before. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. This is my second bits and bobs blanket, and I'm kind of on the hunt for another blanket. I don't want it to be, I don't want to have to seam anything together or pick up. Like, I just want to cast on the stitches and then go, and not think about it too much. So if you have any suggestions, I would appreciate them in the comments, because I feel like maybe I need to take a break from bits and bobs. Like, I love it, but I'm open to suggestions if you have any other blankets that you think will work with an Advent. I want to keep the Advents together. So that's that one. The second thing I've been working on, I showed the yarn for this last time I podcast. I bought yarn for the Bonnie Isle hat. I was influenced by the Nitty Stew when I was watching her podcast. This is the Bonnie Isle hat for Shetland Wool Week. So let's see if I can find a picture. So this is the hat. It's a color work hat, and I showed my colors last time. So I cast this on, and this is a free pattern. So I'm not giving anything away because I am going to talk about it. When you cast this on, it asks you to cast on your stitches, knit the first row, and then join in the round. And I was like, I'm just going to join in the round and then knit the first row, because that seems like an extra step. So I didn't do that. And now I need to put this on, I need to put this on hold, like one of the knitting barber cords, and try it on, because I'm concerned. I'm concerned that this is, oh, there's my dryer. It's the longest sound in the world, if you can hear that. I'm concerned about this brim. I need to try it on my head. I need to see if it's gonna roll or if it will lay flat once it blocks. It's just making me a little bit nervous because it's rolling. So I don't wanna go any further on this until I try it on and see what I'm working with. I don't feel like doing that to the initial row could make such a big change, but I don't know. It's rolling. So I'm gonna put it on the knitting barber cord and try it on. I just need to find one because I have a couple, but they're in use. So I don't have very much progress on this, but I will show you what I've worked on so far. It's not a lot. With this, I have been working on my color dominance. So which color in color work jumps out and which color recedes. I've watched a couple videos about it, and I took a class at our local Fiber Festival Knit East a couple years ago about color work and color dominance. So not every pattern tells you what the dominant color is and what the recessive color is, but this one actually does. So I've been following that, even though, like, this navy was written as the dominant color and the teal was written as the background color per the pattern. So that's what I did. Even though if I was doing it, I might have done it the other way around, but I'm going with the pattern, and it's good practice for color dominance and how you hold your yarns and things like that. So, I'm working on that. It's my floats so far. But I am worried about this roll. I'm really concerned. So I don't want to get all the way through the hat and then it rolls. I feel like it'll be okay. Like, this is the brim. I just changed needle sizes. I'm using the needles in the pattern. So this is a 2.5 US 2.5 3mm. So anyways, to be determined. Like, I feel like this is a that shit'll block right out moment, but I don't want to knit a whole color work hat if it won't. I feel like the tension around my head will hold it down, but we'll see. So to be determined. So that is the Shetland Wool Week hat, the Bonnie Isle hat. I had a hard time choosing which colors go where because there's such color play with this pattern. Like, all the colors really go in and out of each other multiple times. So I had a harder time deciding what to put where. And then I kind of just said, screw it, and picked. So that is kind of in timeout, but I do want to get it done for the fall. I love this bag that I'm using. It is a Tangerine Designs bag. It's Willy Wonka. This was a kit that I bought several years ago. They did a collaboration with Tuft Woolens, and it came with stitch markers and some chocolate scented sock soap. Anyways, I love this bag. So that's my second whip. My third whip that I've been working on is nothing really to write home about. It is a Christmas sock that I am making for my mom, and this is for the Christmas in July make along, which I believe runs to the end of August, by Dana Ray Makes. So this is actually using leftover yarn from one of my finished objects that I'm going to show you. So this green, it's just a vanilla sock, 64 stitches, 9-inch circular. This green was from my stash. I have a jar of leftover yarn. I just grabbed the green because the green mini that it came with, I did heels and toes for my pair of socks and I wouldn't have enough. So these are gonna be for my mom. So this is gonna be the cuff. I don't have enough for cuffs and toes of both socks. So I, again, went stash diving. And I think I'll just use this for the toes. I don't really care. It's just Christmas. She'll love them. It's a vanilla sock. So, this is Peppermint Twist by Chelsea Yarns. I got this last year. So, vanilla sock. This will be my second entry if I get them done in time for the Christmas in July make along. I do a heel flap and gusset. She has a size 8 foot. I have a size 8 foot. I usually put in my Ravelry project page like how many rounds I did for the leg and how many rounds after the heel flap that I did for the foot, so that I know I have a true size 8 foot, and so does my mom. So it just helps me keep it consistent. So that's that, which leads me into my first finished object. These are in the same yarn, the Chelsea yarn Peppermint Twist colorway, and this is the green mini that came with it. So these are the Heath Socks by Dana Ray Makes. So she's hosting the knit along, and she designed socks. So this is her pattern, the Heath Socks. This yarn because it's the micro stripes, it kind of did some funky things with this sock. I at first was like, oh, I didn't choose the right yarn for this pattern and the right pattern for this yarn kind of thing, but I really like how it turned out. They're just like a funky Christmas sock. Yeah, I think it's just looks like a peppermint twist. So I really like them. It has a nice slip stitch detail. This is a paid for pattern. It is on my Ravelry page. So I am very happy with this. These are all blocked and ready to be put away. I'm gonna save these until December. So that is my first finished object. So this is the episode of socks because I finished that pair of socks and then I finished my vanilla socks. I showed these before. Just a vanilla sock, 9-inch circular, 64 stitches, heel flap and gusset. Rounded toe. I've been doing the rounded toe from Nancy Wheeler's patterns that I've been knitting. I really like the toe on her socks, so this is her rounded toe. So these are Nomadic yarns, my favorite self-striping dyer, and this is the Summer Love colorway. So these are all finished. Beautiful colorway. That's my second finished object. My third finished object is also socks. So these are another test knit for Nancy. I am allowed to show these ones. This pattern is releasing sometime this week. This is the Garden Fence socks. So got these little details right here that I feel like they look like a little flower or something. So this is a beautiful textured sock pattern. Could not be easier to memorize. Heel flap and gusset, and this one has the garter detail on the heel flap. And so this yarn is actually the yarn that Nancy used to knit her sample with as well. It is Yarn Indulgences Deb's Z Fingering BFL. It is a new base that she's carrying. So a bunch of us testers actually used this yarn specifically for these socks. So these are beautiful. And this pattern is releasing this week. Garden Fence Socks on Ravelry by Nancy Wheeler. Again, breaks up a vanilla sock. Such a pleasure to knit. You get a couple rounds of simple vanilla. You get a couple pattern rounds. So it takes the monotony out of a vanilla sock. I love a vanilla sock. I knit them all the time, but sometimes I need a little bit more. And I've really been enjoying knitting pattern socks. It's kind of pushed me to do that, whereas before I knit a couple and I really enjoyed them and I love the finished product, but I was only knitting vanilla. So testing for Nancy kind of forced me to do that. Not forced me. I chose to test and I love doing it. But I love the results. And I feel like these are awesome patterns that my mom can wear to work too. So she works in an accounting office. So this is just like a little bit of a fancier design that she can wear to work. And it's not just a basic sock because she gets very cold. She has Raynaud's, so she has poor circulation in her hands and her feet. So she gets really cold. So she is very, very worthy of knit socks. So I just feel like the pattern socks just add a little something. So this is my third finished object. That's all I have for finished objects. I am still working on my Stria cardigan by Andrea Mowry. That's the striped cardigan I've showed before, and I knit the hat as well. So I am on the 11th color change on the body. And when I look on Ravelry, most people have knit 10 to 12, maybe even 14 color stripes. I have a longer torso, so I am on the 11th. I'm gonna do 12 before I even try it on. And then I'll kind of go from there to see if I need 12 or if I need a few more. I decided not to show it because, I mean, I've made progress, like I've knit a couple inches, but really it's just stripes, which you've already seen. So once I get through the body and things like that, I'll show you it a little bit more, but it is slower going. It's fingering weight yarn, fisherman's rib, and yeah, it's a little bit slower, but I've really been trying to dedicate some time to it to get it finished. I think I'm gonna love it when it's done. I just need to get it there. I almost cast on a love note. Like, I had my husband looking through my stash the other day. I was at work and he was sending me pictures of this yarn here and this yarn here, because I was like, oh, I could cast on a love note. Like, maybe I'll stop after work and get some mohair. Like, I don't have any needles on the go right now, just the bigger mohair one that I'm gonna save for the fall. Like, I could whip up a love note. I haven't knit one of those yet. Like, I don't have any sweaters on the go. And I was chatting with my friend Leanne, and then I was like, oh my God, I do have a sweater on the needles. So I want to get it done. Cause I also have my fade cardigan that I want to knit this winter. So it'll be good to get that done. And I really want to wear it. So that's kind of what else I'm working on. I do have a secret test knit that I'm knitting for Nancy that I can't show you yet. It is my first secret one that I am doing for her. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be great. So I am also working on that. And other than that, not working on really anything else that I can think of. Trying to keep those whips down a little bit. So I have purchased a couple of things. So if you don't want to see those, I am going to talk about some books that I've read after, but I don't know, this summer has gotten a little out of control for purchasing. And part of that is because sales come up or, Christmas pre-orders come up and you kind of have to grab those when you see them. So that's a little bit of it, but I'm trying to do better. But I'll show you what I've got. The first thing that I got is, oh, and of course I took them off the marker, but I got more stitch markers from A Needle Runs Through It. I've talked about them before. They are my absolute favorite shop for progress keepers and stitch markers. I have all of their Not Safe for Work sets. I have a couple other Harry Potter sets, kind of like pre-cringy JK Rowling. And I have, what do I have? I have Hamilton, Gilmore Girls. I have quite a few. The coffee set. So they just released a true crime set. So I am a true crime junkie. So I couldn't resist. It had to happen. Like, I even said to my husband, like, oh, there's new true crime stitch markers. And he's bought me things from A Needle Runs Through It before. And he was like, oh yeah, you just buy them. You know, you're going to buy them. So these are them. Let's see if I can show you them. So this one is Serial Killer. Stay Out of the Forest, which if you watch My Favorite Murder or listen to My Favorite Murder, which I do, that is a true crime podcast. This one is True Crime. True Crime Obsessed. And then there is Serial Killer. And there's another one, but it's already on a project. So I love them. This is where in my little Sandy by the lakeside quilted bag, I keep all of my stitch markers and progress keepers from them. So I got some Not Safe for Work progress keepers last time. Oh, I should put this one on my hat. It says, that shit will block right out. And then Gage Can Be a Real Asshole is the other one. So I've got, this is just the ones that aren't on projects, and I have a lot of projects on the go. The sock that I am testing for Nancy has at least 6 or 8 stitch markers on them. Of course I've got these on there. So those are my stitch markers that I got. And then I have never purchased any Shirley Bryan yarn before. You can see, if you look her up on Instagram, they have Deconstructed fade sock kits, which are just beautiful. I love fades. So I did purchase my Advent from them this year, but I've never knit like a skein of yarn from them before. So they were having a second sale where their yarn was discounted. So I grabbed a couple skeins because this sale only happens once every couple years, and I didn't get any at the last one. And I think they said that their last sale was 2 or 3 years ago. So I thought, well, I might as well grab some, and it was a surprise. So I purchased 2 mystery Deconstructed fade kits, and I didn't know what was going to come. So these are the seconds. It's 2 50-gram skeins, 75-25. So it says right on it, there's her tag, and it says seconds. So this is the first one. So it's like purpley, browns, gold, lilac in there. So that's my first one. And then this is the second one that I got. So again, some golds, teals, blue, gray. So it's perfect. I love both of them. I liked that it was a surprise. I don't normally like surprises, but I definitely get why they did that, because it is a big sale and they had a lot of offerings. So it's probably just easier, and I liked the surprise. So I ordered those because it was a sale, and I didn't know when I would get the opportunity again, because shipping is so expensive. It just felt like the only way I could justify spending that on the shipping, which I know is not their fault, but it's something that you definitely have to consider when you're purchasing. The shipping was like basically the cost that I saved by buying the second skein. So it was quite a bit. Also, this is my secret test knit for Nancy in here in a new Yellow Petal handmade project bag. Sophie's Knits and Things has ordered a bag from her before, and it's gorgeous. I'm a sucker for Rifle Paper Co. And she's from Nova Scotia, actually the town where my aunt and uncle live, and I traveled to very regularly as a kid. So this is just beautiful. Her tag on the inside and the fabric on the inside is gorgeous. I can't show you the sock in there. I'll show you the yarn. That's going to be my next test knit for Nancy. So that's in my new Yellow Petal handmade bag. I've been waiting for a sock sack kind of size to go back in stock. So when I saw that it was back in, I grabbed it. That's that. The other thing that I purchased, I saw this on Dana Ray Makes Instagram, who I've been following for the Christmas cowl that I was telling you about. She posted this kit that she's been knitting up, and I couldn't resist because we love the holidays. I love Advent. This December, I'm really gonna try and focus on knitting and enjoying the month instead of knitting and scrambling to finish projects for gifts for people. So I'm gonna take the pressure off. If it's not done before the month of December, I'm really not gonna worry about it. That's why it's kind of nice that I'm knitting socks for my mom now. I have socks for Adam on the go that I hope to finish. And other than that, not going to be this year because I always spend the month of December scrambling to finish things, and then I feel like I don't get to enjoy my Advent projects as much. So this Christmas, this is a kit from TheYarnTherapist that I bought, and it is an Advent sweater kit, and it comes with like a little clothesline and clothespins that you can make these little tiny Christmas themed sweaters. So it's a mini self-striping sweater. This is paid for and it comes with it. So the person that dyes this yarn is actually a respiratory therapist, I believe in Ontario, and I'm a respiratory therapist. So I've purchased from her before. I made Sawyer a sweater with the self-striping yoke. I'll put a picture of him in it. It's adorable. It's too small for him now, but it's one of those sweaters that's in his memory box. It's so cute. I made the Gramps cardigan. We were apple picking a bunch last fall. So I've purchased from her before and I love it. So yes, I'll show you. So if you have purchased this kit and you don't want to see what the yarn looks like maybe you're saving it for Christmas, it's self-striping yarn, so I don't know what it's gonna look like when it knits up, but disclaimer, if you have purchased this kit and you do not want to see what it looks like, now is the time to look away. I'm going to save this and knit it up in December. But these are the colors, and maybe she's posted it online of what the sweaters actually look like. I'm not sure. I just thought it was so cute. So you're gonna get 6 Advent sweaters to put on your Advent clothesline. And like I said, it comes with the little clothespins and oh yeah, it does come with the clothesline too. I see it under there. So I purchased that. I'm gonna tuck that away for the holidays. So those are the only things, I say the only things, like I purchased one thing. Those are the things I have got my hands on since I chatted last. I have purchased another project bag. My coworker Heather sent me a Fat Squirrel project bag, and we both ordered one, and I could not resist. You guys heard me rant about that book that I read last month, Looking for Jane, and with everything that's going on with Roe v. Wade right now in the States, it was like the perfect project bag. So it was a pre-order, so I'm waiting for that to come in. I can't wait because it's like, the fabric is just, but I actually won a prize. So I won a prize for that Christmas in July make along from Dana that I was chatting about for my Christmas socks that I finished and posted about. It's an Instagram cal. So I never win anything. So this was amazing. So it was actually kind of funny because I used Chelsea yarn for my socks that I made for the make along, and I won a beautiful sock set from Chelsea yarn. This is called Easy Sunday. So thank you so much. It is beautiful. So this is the sock set from the cal. So gorgeous. I love this so much. I love it. And there was also a little note and a bag full of goodies, which was very, very sweet, that came with it too. So I feel really lucky to have won that. And I'm happy that I finished a pair of socks for the cal, and I've got my second one on the go. So that is it. And I'm excited to go finish my sweater. It's 2 o'clock. So once I finish podcasting, I'm gonna go upstairs. We just got a screen room for our shed because I hate being hot. And I just feel like I get cranky when I get too hot. I do not like to be overheated. And our back deck gets direct sunlight. So yesterday, Adam and Sawyer and I were both way too hot. Like, we were just all cranky, and I said, that's it. We're going to Canadian Tire. We're buying a screen room. I am not spending the rest of the summer cranky and hot on the deck. We love to be outside, but oh, it was just like we were roasting. So we set that up last night, and Adam and I actually spent the evening out there last night. We watched 5 Days at Memorial on Apple TV, and it was perfection. Like, it was just so cool. There's no bugs. The sun wasn't bothering me. So I'm gonna wrap this up and go spend some time out in this green room before we have to go pick Sawyer up from daycare. And I have to mow the lawn, which is fine because Adam's out there plotting garden boxes for next year. He's got the measuring tape out. This sounds expensive, but that's fine. We've been enjoying the jalapenos he's been growing, but I want to mow the lawn. I'm better at it than he is. He misses spots. And it's funny because our neighbor across the street can be like, oh, I know when you mowed the lawn versus when Adam mowed the lawn because there's less patches when you mow it. So gonna go enjoy some knitting before we have to go pick up Sawyer, and I've got to mow the lawn tonight. But before I go do that, I wanted to talk to you about some books that I have read recently. I've gotten a couple of recommendations, which has been great. So thank you for that. I've added those to my to be read list. And I've actually finished a couple, not as many. I am 100% stalled out on a book right now. I think it's called The House of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I'm probably not saying that properly. I apologize. But it's the second book in a series, and I don't know why I'm like stuck in the middle of it. I'm enjoying it. I just keep falling asleep. So I feel like I just need to dedicate some time to finishing that. I'm going to download something new though, because it's just like, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but if you are in a book that you're stalled out on, it's just making me not even want to read. So I need to get back on it. So I finished this book since we've chatted last, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So this one, I liked this one. It was good. It is about a woman who makes a deal with the darkness, so the devil, and her life, and how it intertwines throughout history. So it was very enjoyable, and I liked the ending. It was very sweet. This was another book that I was stalled out on. It's not a reflection of the book. It's just I had borrowed the book from the library, and then I didn't finish it before I had to return the loan, and then I had to wait. So we have a lending library at our work, and somebody actually brought in this book. So I borrowed it from the lending library at work, and I finally finished it, and I'm so glad I did. It was very, very good. I really liked it. I think this is like one of the popular ones in the last couple years that's like we have in Canada Heather's Picks from Indigo. I could be wrong, but I feel like this was one of those, or anyways, it was very good. So that's that one. I'm also have read, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast last time. The Brilliant Life of Eudora Honeysett. That's by Annie Lyons. So I loved this book. It is about a senior citizen who is kind of just done with being old, as she would say. And she wants to die. She doesn't want to lose her dignity. She doesn't want to become dependent on people. She's alone. She just finds herself fading, and she wants to die. So she wants to go to Switzerland and die on her own terms and take charge of her life, which I can appreciate. But then they have a new family that moves in next door, and there is a little girl who kind of comes into her life, and she befriends this little girl, and they have this beautiful relationship that develops, and it kind of makes her reconsider things. And it was so good. It was like, it had moments that made me sad. It had a lot of moments that made me laugh. My grandfather was kind of that crotchety old man who had a heart of gold. And this character was kind of that in female equivalent. So she she really just was very humorous. I really liked it, and I would definitely recommend that. It's just a nice lighthearted read. The other one that I have read was A Flicker in the Dark by Stacy Wilmingham. This was a suspense, and I finished it really quickly. Like, I couldn't put it down. I needed to know what happened, and I really enjoyed it. It had a kind of one predictable moment, but I really liked it. And then obviously it had like a moment at the end where I was like, huh, I didn't see that coming. So it was really good. And I also read Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. This was a library book that I listened to on audiobook on my drive to work. I have like a 35-40 minute drive in the mornings once a week, and it was enjoyable. It was kind of predictable, but yeah, it was good. It wasn't a dud. I need a new audiobook though, and I feel like I'm learning that I really like suspense audiobooks, or I kind of like just like a lighthearted book to listen to. I have been listening to some podcasts recently instead, just because there isn't anything that's been available that's kind of gripping me from the library. And I put my Audible subscription on hold just because, like, I'm enjoying reading books more, and I just can only justify so much money per month on books because I'm spending it all on yarn. All of my like fun money. So I've been using my library a lot, and I'm happy to do that, but right now I'm waiting. I have like 6 books on hold that I'm waiting for them to come in, which probably means they'll all come in at the same time, but whatever. Can't complain when you're getting free books from the library. So anyways, that's it for me today. I hope you guys have a lovely day, that you're enjoying the last month of summer. It feels like it's gone so fast. I am going to say goodbye for today and head upstairs to the screen room and work on my sweater. I will chat with you next time, and thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.